Hey, today I'm sharing with you day 2 experience of attending Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreat, the meditation program. If you already haven't seen my day 1 video, there's a link for it in the description below or somewhere up in the sign. Make sure that you watch that day 1 because otherwise day 2 might be a little confusing for you. Because on the day 2 today, my experience in the workshop was crazy because today was the day when we learned about the science. The science behind why pineal gland activation works. Why, like there was this one question that was really driving me crazy in this entire workshop of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He was doing similar meditations that I did in Vipassana many years ago in India. I learned about meditation, I learned about Kundalini awakening. I did all of that in India many years ago. I've been practicing meditation for so many years. But still, in India, we were not listening to results like cancer being cured in 7 days. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has like 1500 such cases. सब किसी का ब्रेन ट्यूमर ठीक हो रहा है, किसी का आर्थराइटिस ठीक हो रहा है, somebody is getting out of wheelchair, somebody's spinal cord is getting all right. There was one lady whose thyroid was physically removed after surgery. Her thyroid as an organ grew back in the entire body as if कोई खेत की मूली उग गई हो वापस से. मतलब even Dr. Joe Dispenza himself was crazy and he was shocked like how can an organ regrow? But that is the power that our body has is what he was revealing to us in this science. But the question that I was really going wild about, ये सब कुछ इंडिया में सिखाया जाता है, तो यहाँ पे ये रिजल्ट क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? Right? Like, why aren't we getting 7 days में these kind of results in India? The origination of these kind of meditation and all this comes from thousands of years in India. Here is the answer that I got on day 2. When he shared an amazing example with me about that when you take a person and put him into ice, पूरा उसको बर्फ में डाल दो, okay? -15, -20 degree temperature में, the person will get hypothermia. मतलब वो ठंड से बीमार हो जाएगा. Correct? Blood circulation will stop and all that craziness will happen. A person can even die. But he says, if you give scientific knowledge to a person about what are the benefits of ice bath. Do you know there is a man who actually lives in the Himalayas? In India, ये तो बहुत common है. हिमालय में अपने कितने नागा बाबाज घूमते हैं, right? Who don't even wear clothes. How do they survive? He told us that when you have the knowledge and you give this knowledge to a common person, that what are the benefits of ice bath? Then you put the person into ice bath, suddenly the body gives you better immune system benefits instead of going into hypothermia. And I was like, yaar, ye to maine kabhi socha hi nahi. Actually, that's true. When people are ignorant, usi cheez se hypothermia ho raha hai. Once you give them knowledge, people are happily doing ice bath after that and getting their immune system activated. So he said the difference between doing an activity without knowledge is when the intention is not there, the full result is not given to its fullest potential. But the same technique of ice bath, when it is implemented after knowledge, after you understand the science behind it, suddenly your body reacts differently and gives you all the 100% potential of that particular activity. That is why on day 2, Dr. Joe Dispenza gave us lots of science about meditation. आफ्टर डे 2 तो मुझे लगा अगर मैं रोज मेडिटेशन नहीं कर रहा हूं तो मैं पागल हूं. इसके पहले मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता था. बट नाउ आई रियली फील आई एम स्टूपिड इफ आई एम नॉट डूइंग मेडिटेशन एवरी डे. You must go through this video in detail. Again, take a notepad and a pen, write down the science in detail. He's going to talk about brain waves and 7 chakras and pineal gland activation. I mean, some crazy scientific knowledge that he's going to give us. So make sure that you're with me today to learn my experience from this retreat. Okay? I encourage you to attend his workshop. And if you can't, make sure that you learn from his videos. Go to his website, buy his course if you need to. But to make an informed decision, go through my experience first. Talk to you soon after the end of this video. There's something beautiful he started with. He said, there is a question that everybody asks, and that question is, will it work for me? And he said, somebody who's committed to make healing work, somebody who's committed to make law of attraction work, somebody who's committed to make manifestation work for you, will never ever ask this question, will it work? How will it work? Will it work? How will it work? The more you're in that how zone, that means you're still not sure whether it is going to work for you. And he said, if you're truly committed, just eliminate that question from your life. And that makes so much sense about not being in the how zone. The second thing he spoke a lot about was just stop cribbing and start practicing. He makes a lot of fun about saying people meet him in the lift and ask him, Dr. Joe, I tried the breathing, but it didn't work. He said, bullshit, just continue doing the breathing. Some people say, I did not get the gamma waves. He said, doesn't matter, keep practicing. Some people say, yes, but you don't know what is going on in my life. He said, I know what's going on in my life. And I know what's going on in your life. I have been doing this for more than 40 years and I've met more than 2 million people in the world. They all have the same stories. Keep doing the exercising, keep doing the breath work. And I think this is what we say during our workshops, right? Don't solve problems. Keep doing what? Yeah, keep evolving, keep upgrading your frequency. You get lost into questions and things never really work. And then so he basically said, continue evolving yourself, focus on upgrading your frequency, focus on upgrading your meditation to make sure that you're evolving at such a level that things don't impact you anymore. Then he spoke about brain coherence again, which is the breathing technique where which we've also started already. We few days ago started that breathing work where we breathe in a way that your heart and your brain is in sync. So he spoke a lot about that. He gave a lot of examples about how that works. And the best example he gave was there is a prison in Mexico, one of the biggest Mexico prisons where there are 5,400 ladies staying over there. So it's a women's prison. The lady warden of that prison did a workshop with Dr. Joe Dispenza, got really inspired, and she decided that she's going to transform her prison. And this is a prison where women who are criminals who are so crazy that they're trying to kill each other, they're trying to always hit each other, they're always trying to scream, and they're never at peace. And the place is always very noisy. So there's a team of students of Dr. Joe Dispenza on behalf of Dr. Joe Dispenza. They decided to go to this prison with the help of this warden, and the warden actually initiated this whole process. She decided that I'm going to take all these students and I'm going to teach them breath work and I'm going to teach them breathing and pineal gland activation. And believe it or not, she taught it to them. And in 7 days, like they did the same retreat over there in the jail for 7 days, the whole place converted from a prison to a monastery experience, where it was as if monks were living there. Where after 7 days, these ladies who were trying to kill each other were smiling, laughing, shoulder on shoulder, helping each other, taking care of each other's children. There were ladies over there who were on dialysis in the jail, almost about to die, completely recovered from dialysis. There were ladies who had cyst in their body and the cyst just disappeared, like literally just disappeared. And the more they saw these scans happening, because they do scans before and after this event. So anybody who's sick, I took a list of, so I met the scientist today again, and he gave me a list of all the experiments that they do. So they do blood tests, they do DNA test, they do ECG test, they do EEG test, they do psychological tests, they do a lot of tests. I got the whole list of things with me. So basically the whole jail transformed. And now after that Mexico jail, many jails in US are doing this experiment, and almost everywhere the prisoners are transforming. In fact, as Dr. Joe was talking to us, he got a WhatsApp from one of the other jail wardens who said one of the criminals over there, who was one of the worst criminals, had become a champion in soccer. And the other criminal, there was one more criminal who had committed a lot of crimes, multiple crimes, became a boxing champion and is now completely rehabilitated, stopped taking drugs, become very compassionate, and he's ready to go out in the world now. So that's the kind of world that they're creating. In fact, he also shared that in the very hotel where we are staying, the staff members have been coming and giving information to Dr. Joe's staff that we love it every time you come back as a community because your guests treat us with so much love. And so Dr. Joe said, if you really want to do something for the world, be an example of love. And that's how people come back and keep saying that this is the kind of people we love to work with. So that was an example that he shared in the morning about the prisoners going on. Then he gave one of the best examples, which blew my mind, about anybody's heard about hypothermia. And if you go into extreme cold, like minus temperature, have you seen those movies when there is ice and sometimes the actor or actress just goes inside and they die because of hypothermia, where basically your whole blood freezes? And he says that is very normal. Like, as per science, if you drop yourself into minus temperature, your body is going to go into hypothermia, and in 5-10 minutes, you can die. How many of you remember that? Right? Yeah, Titanic is a great example of that. So he says, none of you've thought of this, but he says, if you take the same person and you now give them knowledge that a person who stays into ice bath for half an hour, his immune system goes up 10 times. How many of you have heard about this man called as Iceman? Have you heard about this guy called the Iceman who constantly takes bath in ice? And Tony Robbins also taught me about this, where Tony Robbins himself takes bath in minus 20 degrees every day in the morning, every morning. And Wim Hof is the name of this man called Iceman. You can go look it over on YouTube. So he says, if you give this example to a group of people and you teach them that going into minus 20 degrees can actually boost your immune system, believe it or not, you take the same human being whom you give knowledge to and you put him into minus 20 degrees, instead of getting hypothermia, his immune system boosts. He says, now science is not able to explain why in one moment you put him into ice and he goes into hypothermia. In another moment, after giving him some knowledge, you put him into ice and his immune system boosts. And can you believe what is the reason? Anybody can unmute and tell me, what do you think is the main reason? Why is this difference between these two people?
Acceptance.
Sorry?
Like how you do before the
It is
fire
knowledge.
Yeah, so he said
Knowledge.
it's just nothing but intention. Yeah, just intention. Nothing else. He said just intention. If you change the meaning behind an activity, the activity experience completely changes. Like for an example, then I realized something amazing. For the last 3 days, I have been asking myself this question, that we have something more powerful than these meditation activities in India. It's called Vipassana. How many of you know Vipassana? It's, believe me, it's much more powerful than what they do here in terms of a experiential activity. And I was like, why are people in Vipassana not getting these kind of magical results where eyes are coming back or people's organs are growing again? I mean, yes, Vipassana is giving a lot of results, but I've never heard these kind of results in Vipassana. So why? Like, what is the difference? And I've been chewing my brain about this, and I was intending to ask this question to one of the scientists. And suddenly I got my answer today morning that the only difference is that in this program, before every meditation, Dr. Joe talks about miracles, that this is possible. And he gives a few examples. And then he says, now go do the meditation. Now, what happens? The brain takes that intention and creates a manifestation. Is this making sense to you? Whereas in Vipassana, what do they say? Meditate. Why? Meditate. Meditation is good for you. Why is it good for you? It makes you happy. That's it. So it's like in India, how do we teach children to brush teeth? Brush karo. Kyun? Brush karo. But why? Brush karo. Like, and because of that, there is no pre-frame. So while the benefits of meditation are humongous, but in spite of that, because it is just about do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work, there's no pre-frame in Vipassana, and that is why people are not creating those kind of results, because they're not expecting those results. They're not intending those results. So the power of the exercise is there, but because the intention is not there, the power is not being used. Is that making sense to all of you? The possibility is there, but because you're not putting the thought into that possibility, the possibility is not getting manifested. And here people come and they come with this expectation that something like this may happen, and that is why things are happening. So that was a very, very powerful learning for me. And from like, and I'll give you an example about this. There is this Indu, who's the girl who joined Platinum recently, and we were talking about her example yesterday.
Payal Parihar.
Payal, was it Payal?
Payal Parihar.
Yeah, so Payal Parihar, I don't know if she's on the call right now, but she's a great example of this right now. Payal joined Platinum just a few days ago, and on the last week,
Last week.
last week,
only she joined, and
yeah,
Friday
and she was there on the first Friday call. And on the Friday call, if you remember, she spoke about her loans were there, and she had taken loan from the same bank that she's working with, and she's got 10 lakh rupees of loan. So I asked her, I said, how did you join Platinum? She said, I took a loan more from the bank. I said, are you crazy? I said, how much is your salary? So I thought she'll say like 1 lakh rupees a month. She said, 20,000 rupees a month is a salary. I was like, you have 20,000 rupees month salary and you've taken 10 lakh rupees loan? It doesn't make sense. How many of you agree with that? And she said, yeah, but what do I do? So I gave her a solution. I said, go talk to the bank and raise your frequency, do advance open, all of that. We gave her that. But then after I spoke to Indu about this, we discussed that maybe we should at least give her an option of a refund. Okay, do you want to take, because it had just been 3 days she had joined. So she said, okay, we've not given her full access yet. Give her a chance to really take a refund if she needs to, just to relax her stress down. You know what the girl says? No, I'm 100% sure I'm going to make money. I'm going to manifest. I'm going to achieve 10 years of success in 1 year, and I'm not quitting Platinum. And I was like, okay. And 2 days after that, she sends a message to Indu in the community saying, as Mitesh sir told me on Friday, I went and spoke to my bank manager and I openly told him that I intend to pay you, but I don't have the money, but I intend to pay you. Now you can either put me in the jail or you can give me a chance. You know what they did? They gave her 1 year extension and they reduced her interest rate from 22% to 10%. Which bank does that? Is that a magical experience? Yes or no? But see, that's the power of intention, right? And I'll explain to you a little more science about what Dr. Joe told me about why that magic happens so fast. And that's when the diagram comes in, which I'm about to show you. How many of you got the diagram in advance? Raise your hands if you got the diagram. Okay. If you didn't get the diagram, please don't worry. I'll show you on the screen the diagram. Yes, Indu.
This is just between Thursday to Tuesday.
Yeah, this is just between Thursday to Tuesday. What happened with Payal, right? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm now about to show you why things happen so fast as per Dr. Joe Dispenza's concepts, in not as per his concepts, but as per quantum physics, why things happen so fast. So here's the science behind it. Let me show you this picture. So here, I hope everybody's written down on the top, everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, every time, right? Now there's a flat line over there. Did you see there's a flat line over there? On the top, on the very top. Now what he says is that when there was nothing in the universe as per quantum physics, how many of you heard about the Big Bang theory, where there was once upon a time nothing in the universe? And even in Bhagavad Gita it says when there was nothing, there was just the word, and when the word spoke, the universe got created. Just like that, in the Big Bang theory it says that there was once upon a time nothing in the universe, like there was just a speck of a dot. And at that moment, if that was you, you were everybody because you were not fragmented. You were everyone because everything was in you. You were everything because everything was in you. You were everywhere because there was no everywhere, because everything was just there. And every time was just there. Like it was beyond space and time. So that is a flat line. And then I suddenly remembered something. When we die, what shows on the ECG monitor? Flat line. I was like, oh shit, no wonder it shows a flat line, because the moment we go to a flat line, we go to the source. And in Hindu scriptures, we say कि जब कोई गुजर जाता है तो वो भगवान के पास वापस चला जाता है. How many of you agree with that? Which means now that person is everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, every time. Is that making sense to you? So it all makes sense. Death is not a bad thing. Death is a great thing. We should be celebrating death. But that's a flat line. He says the frequency at the flat line is so powerful. Remember that everything in the universe is made of what? Show me your hands, everyone. Energy. And energy is always what? Vibrating, right? Like a frequency. He says the frequency of the flat line is so powerful. It is also vibrating, but it is so powerful that it looks like a flat line as per quantum physics, because the speed at which it vibrates is infinity. So it is vibrating, but it looks like a flat line. And an example I can give you about that I remember is, have any of you remembered like a child when you looked up and on the fan, and the fan is running on full speed? Do you see 4 blades or do you see 3 blades? What do you see? It's almost just one line that you see rotating. How many of you remember that? That's the speed. Isn't that an illusion? Actually, there are 3 blades, but there's only one. But it looks like there's only one. He says, just like that, in that moment, the vibrations are so powerful. That's vibrating at full speed. And that's why it looks like a flat line. He said, because this is the zone of beyond time and space. Beyond time and space. Manifestation here happens at what speed? Give me an example. What speed? Unlimited speed. Unlimited speed. So he said, if you can go to this level of your brain and you can manifest here, things manifest like this. And he says that is the reason that people here in this session are manifesting their wealth, are manifesting their health being resolved, and all of that is because they come here, which is what he calls as the gamma waves. And below that, in the picture, as you see, when the universe breaks down, this is energy. You see the second line here? This is energy. Now, this is pure energy without any frequency, without any manifestation in it yet. Potential pure power. Again, frequency is very, very powerful and vibrating at a very high speed, because of which, if you see, the gap between highs and lows is very less. Then it goes into waves. It goes into bigger waves. Smaller. Now, this is where he says goes into atoms and molecules and neutrons and protons. And eventually, this third last line that you see, this is where it starts slowing down. So the frequency is slowing down. That is why now you can see it. And he says this area is called as the matter area. Matter or solid matter is the slowest frequency. In all these frequencies, matter is the slowest frequency. I'll give you an example of that. I've given this example earlier in law of attraction workshops. I don't know how many of you remember that if you take a rice box, rice, pure rice, like not cooked, even kacha rice, and you put it in a jar and you lock it and you leave it for 3 months, and when you open it, you'll find worms in it or small kidas in it. How many of you have seen it at home, right? And I always ask people, haven't you ever wondered where the hell did these worms come from? You had got an airtight box. So where did it come from? Inside the jar, when you locked it, there was frequency, which was in the air, which is called nothingness. And from that nothingness, you know what can be created? Everything. Depending on what? Depending on the frequency. Now, because the oxygen is low in that, the frequency is more positive or more less or less positive there. Less positive because the frequency has a lot of negativity because of lack of oxygen over there. So those worms or those kidas are being manifested there. The moment they manifest into kidas or worms, what is their speed? Very slow. Once they manifest into solid matter, which is those worms, now their speed, like if you take those worms and you put it on the floor, can they run fast? No, they can go very slow because matter is very slow. Matter is very, very slow. Just like our body slows down. Now, even though we can run, but if you see the speed at which the frequency up there runs versus when we become a human body and then we run, there is a huge difference. Everybody got this so far? Okay, now look at the interesting point. Do you see this part? There is a dot on the top and there is a dot on the bottom and there is a dot on the top and there is a dot on the bottom. I hope you've done that. If you've not done it, do it now. See, there's a dot here, there's a dot here, there's a dot here, and there's a dot here. Have you got that? Okay, great. Now here's what I want you to do. Take a blank page, everyone. And on a blank page, I want you to draw, first draw a dot on the top, and then take those dots and go on two sides like a line. Like almost like a triangle, but don't finish the triangle here. So he says, when he explained to us for the first time, he said, what is a vibration? Listen to this carefully. What is a vibration? He says a vibration is when something in time and space is like this, okay? And if the particle moves, the moment it moves into matter or solid time and space, it moves like a pendulum, right? Negative and positive. So it moves like a pendulum. But when it comes on, everyone take your hands like this. Imagine this is a full rod, okay? Holding a rod. And you're shaking the rod now. So it comes to one side and now stay here. He says this point, it stays for a microsecond and then moves again. Is that correct? He says this point, when it stays there for a microsecond, that transcends time and space. And then again, it moves here. And again here, it stays here for a microsecond that transcends time and space. And it moves. He said, if this is moving, this is measurable. And if this is measurable, this is frequency. Everybody got this so far? Now, he says, when can you see that there is a gap between frequency? Always when there is a high and there is a low. There is a high and there is a low. Doesn't matter what is the frequency, whether it's positive frequency, medium frequency, negative frequency, doesn't matter. Every frequency has duality, up and down, positive and negative. Everybody got that? That's why we talk about balance perspective. So he says in this wave, the top is always a moment of stillness. Everyone write this down, moment of stillness. Okay. And here there is a moment of stillness. Here there is a moment of stillness. Here there is a moment of stillness. And then he said, if you take a straight line and you go from here in the center of these lines to here, if you had to draw a line here, that is where time is moving full speed, zoop. Okay. Which means, he says, you really experience stillness after a long time because the matter is vibrating at a very, very slow speed. This is why he says, when you live as per the logical world of three-dimension world, which is, पहले मैं job करूंगा, then I will do then I will get 4 years of experience, then I will do this, then I will do that, and then I will do that. This is linear matter to matter transformation. Everyone write down matter to matter, which means मैं काम करूंगा, काम से मुझे पैसा आएगा. Everybody got this? Then he says, it is possible to create matter to matter, but the speed is going to be super slow. Because if you see the frequency at which things are moving at the frequency of matter is very, 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 very slow. Now he says, if you meditate and you go to this level, pure energy, okay? At the pure energy level, there is nothing. From nothing, you can create everything. And he says, at nothing, the universe is connected to what? Everyone. The universe is connected at what time? Every time. And the universe can manifest how fast? Like flash of a second, yes or no? So he says, if you can vibrate at that frequency, go there and then manifest. He says, now what happens is your thoughts are always creating frequency. When you go there and you think something, it creates a frequency. And that frequency becomes a hologram. Anybody knows what's a hologram? It's like a projection. He says, now it goes out there in the universe and it manifests at almost unlimited speed. So here's an example he gave about. And then you'll realize why this happened with Pineal and with some of you. He gave an example. He said he was doing this meditation and just to experiment, he decided, okay, let's try. Let's try manifesting something which is out of the box. So he meditated, went at a very higher level, and he visualized a red rose. Okay, and while he was doing that, he outside his house has a big tree, and he was sitting on the top of the tree, and he was doing some work on the tree. He wanted to make a tree house. So he was doing some work, and in the middle of that, he started meditating, and he visualized a beautiful red rose, and he went back to work. He said, the trick here is after you visualize, what do? Now you leave it to the universe. And he says, how the universe will manifest is none of your business. Let the universe do its job. It's not even in your capacity to understand, because where is the universe right now? Everywhere. Who is the universe connected to? Everybody. How fast is the universe? Like this, right? So he says, I just left it. He says, 5 minutes after that, a car comes in driving into my house, stands 5 minutes after that, comes below my tree. True story, he says. A lady comes out, has a basket of red roses in her hands, gives it to him and says, don't ask me anything. I can't tell you anything. She gave him the roses and drove away. I was like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. How many of you agree with that? It's as if God came there and said, don't talk to me about how, and just gave him the red roses and just went away. I was like, wow. And then I remembered that story of me manifesting Hrithik Roshan, where I also did something like this. And I said, Indu, let's try something which can, like, it can really prove it has nothing to do with us. And we sat at one place and we manifested Amitabh Bachchan. And 1 week after that, we were in Amitabh Bachchan's house. Didn't work out. That evening, we said, okay, chalo, Hrithik Roshan. 1 week after that, we were sitting in Hrithik Roshan's house. And a month after that, Hrithik Roshan was on our website. How many of you say this is happening at super magical speed? Raise your hands. But you know why it's happening? Because you're manifesting at a relaxed level. Now, here is the best part. From my experience, I know you don't have to go to Gamma. You don't have to go to Gamma. I can guarantee you. Like some of you thinking, okay, when am I going to attend Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshop? When will I go to Gamma? And when will I manifest my healing? Or when will I manifest my debt free? Or when will I manifest my best life partner? No, you don't have to go to Gamma. You know where is the best moment to manifest? Right where you are. And you know what is the best time to manifest? This time. All you need to do is relax. And if you can just relax for 3 minutes and go to alpha frequency and just manifest and just leave it to the universe and now be happy unconditionally as if it's done, hoga. And haven't we seen thousands of such examples in our Platinum community? Yes or no? Haven't we seen thousands of such examples in DMP who've not even joined Platinum yet? Yes or no? Pineal is a classic example. 3 days she gets a result where the bank was going to send her a legal notice. Same bank has reduced her percentage by 22 to 10% and give her a 1 year extension. Can this happen without that advance hope no that she did for the bank? Can this happen without she intending at pure level that she's going to make it happen? No. But did it require 1 year? No. How many of you heard Arvind speaking a few days ago about how Arvind has started manifesting crazy amount of results, and Arvind was the one, he didn't even have enough money to join Platinum when he joined properly. And now he has crazy amount of money, has an amazing job. All that is happening at super fast speed. Why? Manifesting at alpha, manifesting at theta. He has made us given so many scientific examples of meditation and how powerful it is. Now he's making me feel guilty that why didn't I meditate for so many years? Like he's saying, not meditating is as stupid as not brushing your teeth. Baat khatam. How many of you did brush your teeth today morning? That's it. He said, if you brush your teeth, you got to meditate every day. Simple as that. So this is what I learned. And if you keep just vibrating at that frequency, things will fall back into track place. Right? So that was the recap for today. Some science, some crazy experiences, and I made some good friends here. Had a good time. That's it. Now tomorrow morning 6:30 we start a walking meditation. You'll hear something crazy. There are 2,000 people in the conference hall, and these 2,000 people are going to walk on a beach together doing a walking meditation. I really want to see how does that look. मतलब इंडिया में तो मेला देखा ही है हमने बहुत बार, but zombies की तरह नहीं देखा है कि आंखें बंद करके ऐसे like people are walking around. So it's going to be really good fun to watch that tomorrow, because he showed us a video of the earlier batch. They really look like zombies because they close their eyes and just walking in on the road. 2,000 people closing their eyes walking. I don't know why, but he's going to show us the process tomorrow morning. That's it. So today's recap is this. Did you love it? Hey, how was the video today on day 2? Mind blowing, right? Would you agree the science part actually makes you crazy and makes you believe कि हाँ यार रोज meditation करना चाहिए, right? Like the part about the gamma waves, wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that crazy? If you think day 2 was crazy, wait for day 3. On day 3, he explains to me something amazing, which I kind of knew, but the way he explained it, wow, it was amazing. He explained about 3 different worlds: the 3D world, the 4D world, and the 5D world. In India, we use different languages for this. We call it cosmic science, consciousness. Buddha calls it enlightenment. So many different languages are there. But suddenly, when I heard from a scientific perspective about why manifestation works so powerfully, why law of attraction works so powerfully, why it doesn't work for some people at the 3D world, why it works very powerfully for some people in the 4D world, and for some people at 5D world, it just works like pure magic. But why? What is that 3D, 4D, 5D world? Stay with me for the third video, which is coming soon. How do you know when it is coming? Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you get a notification right before that video is released. Okay? See you soon in the third video. And hey, tell me in the comment section below, what did you learn today? What was the exciting part for you? What was the most favorite part for you? For me, the most favorite part was the gamma waves. You'll see me talking about the gamma waves again tomorrow, day after tomorrow, when I'll be talking about a machine that I bought over there called the EEG machine, small gadget that I had to put on my head. I could actually get proof using an EEG, measuring my own gamma waves, and I was amazed. My brain actually went into gamma. I'll show you proof about it in the next following videos. Okay? See you soon in the next video. Hit the bell icon right now. Bye.